Blurbs. If you're not in the glorious publishing industry like I am, you might not know this term, and there's really no reason why you should know this term. It doesn't apply to any other form of life. But blurbs are the quotes on the front of book covers, the back of book covers, movie posters, which fawn all over the book. Spectacular, magnificent, beguiling. That's Tom Rackman's The Imperfectionist. Sometimes blurbs are on the back of books. This is American Psycho. Bret Easton Ellis is a very, very good writer, an American blah, blah, blah. That's from Fay Weldon, who I haven't even heard of. Grab 5 books in your house, and I guarantee one of the blurbs will be from Stephen King or Malcolm Gladwell. These guys are known as book blurb whores because they blurb just about everything. The average American reads 1 book a year, but somehow Stephen King and Malcolm Gladwell manage to read 1,000 books a year and enjoy all 1,000 of those books and blurb all 1,000 of those books. It's a miracle they even managed to write their own books with all the blurbing they do. If you grab a few books and you see a blurb from someone, why don't you go grab a book written by that person, and you'll notice that that book was blurbed by the guy who they also blurbed. This is known as quid pro quo blurbing. You scratch my back, I'll blurb your book. So in a world where every single book gets blurbed, whether it's a bestseller or a worst seller, they all get blurbed. How relevant are blurbs nowadays? And I presented this point to my publisher. I said, I don't want my cover covered with blurbs. I like how my cover looks, and I don't want these fawning blurbs on it that no one really believes in. It doesn't buy books. It doesn't sell books. And he said, well, you have to have blurbs. That's how books are sold. I said, well, I got some other ideas. Can we use my other ideas? No. You have to have blurbs. Well, that would be great if I knew Oprah or Barack Obama or even Jon Stewart, but I don't. And considering I can't even get my mother or my manager to read my stuff in a timely manner and get back to me, I didn't really think there was a good possibility Barack Obama or Oprah Winfrey or Jon Stewart would read my book and get back to me and leave a blurb, considering their desks are probably covered with books people want them to blurb. So I really didn't have much choice. I offered a few alternatives to my publisher, some non-blurby alternatives for stuff to put on the book, which I'll mention in the deleted scenes below. They didn't like any of those, so I had no choice but to go with hat in hand to the 4 semi-famous people I knew in the film and TV and writing industry and ask them for blurbs. And they gave them to me. Piss Yourself Funny. That's from the Philadelphia lawyer. He wrote a great book called Happy Hours for Amateurs, which you should read. I gotta say, I kind of like it. I don't know if those blurbs help me sell books, but I kind of like how they look. My publisher was right to make me get them. And the funny thing is now that I've written this book and now that I know a lot more famous people, it's going to be a lot easier for me to get blurbs for my next book, which makes me realize that maybe blurbs aren't to sell books, but they're kind of just a literary name drop to say, I know these 4 or 5 famous people and you don't. One final point, I've yet to give a blurb myself to anyone's book, so if there's anyone out there with a book they need blurbed, I'd love to do it. Send me an email, aaron@aarongoldfarb.com, because I really want to start a second career as a blurb whore myself. Well, thanks and cheers.